lapping of the slide to the blanks. Here's the problem. You hear it? It's not an ideal sound. It's not as smooth as I would like. And there's some things that I can do to make this better. We know, because we sanded this, and we sanded the underside of this, that, you know, this sound has to be coming from these parts here. I can't really say, you know, they do come apart, by the way, and then what I call them is the upper one that has curved edges. I call that a shouldered blank, and this is a flat blank. But if you look at the inside here of this metal, it's scored up. It's kind of scratchy looking. And, you know, that's not real good. And I'm just saying that this is not, this is not the way I like to see metal, you know. There's quite a few things I can do. I'm actually going to do something this time. I'm going to try to get you a better shot of this. The problem. See the scores and scratches? It's just not a precise piece of metal right now. It's a long way off from what it should be. So I'm going to do something a little more aggressive than I might do sometimes. Let me get my safety glasses. Sorry about that. Had to get my toothpaste for lapping compound. For the harp to, you know, move smoothly and quietly, you know, the parts have to be smooth, and these aren't. This is one of the things that, you know, you kind of have to mess with when you're dealing with, you know, instruments that are lower cost, is they don't put a lot of time into things like this. But you can put a little time in, and it'll work great. So I'm going to set up a Dremel tool right now to do this job. I'm going to polish that out a little bit with a Dremel. That's kind of one of my little game plans here. And this is kind of what a little nub, polishing nub looks like. And I'm going to put this little thing in here, the little screw, and then this threads in like this. And it's a little easier in a Dremel. I'm just trying to attach the two right now to get this Dremel onto here. These screws can be a little nasty sometimes to fit. And there we go. It's starting to bite. There we go. Tighten it up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to go get another rougher compound. I'm going to use Mother's mag and aluminum polish. This is a pretty, it's not anywhere near as coarse as like you would get with a rubbing compound, but it's more aggressive than you would have with something called swirl, which is a final automotive polishing. So I just kind of put some of this Mother's polish onto my tool, and I kind of rub it like this, and it hasn't really seated on here yet very well. I'll try and tighten it up a little. That worked. Clean my hands off. What I'm going to do is take the polisher here, and I'm just going to work that before I lap. It's rougher than I like the look of, and I'm going to probably do the same thing to the slide here too. Safety glasses are on. The unit is plugged in. There we go. Pretty basic stuff. I put it in here to get it started so the splattering all goes inside. And I think you can see me. And get a little closer maybe. This is not a very aggressive method or compound, but it does take us one step in the right direction. I am going to be lapping by hand with toothpaste here in a minute, but this looked worse than I wanted to deal with just by lapping. So you can see it's cleaning up here and smoothing up, which is really cool. I'll show it to you. See, it looks better now, doesn't it? Sure does. Keep going. This is a good idea. Like this. Okay, that's that. Now it's Mr. Slide's turn. Mr. Slide's going to get it on both sides. I stick the button over the edge so that I don't misshape the thing. There we go. And we're just going to do some quick passes. Left and right on the slide. A little bit of a twist of here. Both sides, flip it over. And you might be wondering, does this make any difference? You bet. It sure does. This is the kind of handwork they don't have time to do in a factory with a harp at this price. Now's my chance to fix these holes for the bumpers. I can smooth them, and they will not cut into the bumper. Good time to do this while I got it apart. So in other words, these are knife sharp, but not anymore. Now, the next thing is, what about, you might say, well, what about this blank? Well, you got to feel them, and this one's perfectly smooth, so this guy's in good shape. You know, the shoulder blank was okay, the flat blank not so good, slide not so good. Okay, so the game plan now is we're going to lap these parts, and how does that work? Well, we take Colgate regular toothpaste with calcium diphosphate. This is my lapping compound. I take the slide, and it gets a nice goopy coating. Then, the underside of the shoulder blank that the slide rides in gets a coating. More toothpaste, please. And we go here. Okay. And then we have the flat blank. And this is the edge that we're working right here. So I come in right like that. And we have this, and we have this. Here is this, and this, and this. We're going to come up here. So the construction is this, and then the slide, and then the shoulder blank. So I'm kind of putting the harp together, and don't need to apply any of the compounds to the mouthpiece, but I can just set the mouthpiece here on like that. So I'm going to put the harp into its playing configuration to do the lapping. I can take the safety glasses off. I'm not working with any parts that could come up and poke me. So take that off. Take our mouthpiece screw. Put it in. Let's construct the harp. Okay. And I can come here with this. All right. Okay, now. All right. Now it's interesting that these parts are fitting pretty doggone tight. Let me get everybody sitting here properly. And here's this and this. There's this. Let's see if we can get that slide in here properly. So it's sitting the way it should be. Hasn't really come into its correct position here. There we go. Parts do have to be properly aligned and stay properly aligned during this exercise. I'll have to clean off the screwdriver too. Now, another trick is you can take out this screw at the top here, and now I can really move that slide and just apply down pressure here like it would be if the harp were put together. So you can see I'm sanding off material here, and this is kind of working quite well. And tighten up the back just a little bit as we continue our process of lapping. At this point, I'm going to give it a little bit of water, a little bit more, because I'm almost through with the lapping, and that cleans out a lot of it and gives me the final finish. I'm going to come down and hold this tight too. You can hear the difference now in what's going on. So toothpaste is the grinding compound, and that completes that. So I take out the mouthpiece screw here like this. And why don't we clean them together? You can see how I clean stuff. That's always fun to watch, isn't it? So everything needs cleaned. You know, we've got a mess of the comb. I've got all these parts are kind of messy. And you can see that kind of gray goop in there. It did take off some. And then of course I have this mouthpiece screw here. I'm going to seal up this sink and come over to do the mouthpiece screws, because what you don't want these to do is go down your sink. And the way you do that is seal the sink and then put them away over here. I don't want those screws going. Okay, now I have a toothbrush and my Joy stuff. So here we go. Don't forget that the comb, everybody's going to get washed now because the comb got sanded. So it's first. Come here and clean this. Pretty straightforward. And then when you wash stuff that's a harmonica, there can be residue that makes life difficult. Now I have a squirter on here so I can blow some water at it, which I need. It'll help to remove all the little vestiges from the toothpaste. So I take a lot of time to wash things. And then the sniff test. Is there any residue of peppermint smell? I'm going to come in here and use my toothbrush again. It's a new one. I'll come here. Final rinse with the power. Sniff test. Clean. Okay, that can go there. Okay, now, the next thing, we're going to clean off this mouthpiece. It's worked. It got sanded earlier, and it was just used for lapping, so get in here and clean it out, like that. And this and this. I hope we don't run out of time here. This is a big video, it's 14 minutes. I guess we'll keep on going. Now I do the shoulders blank and try and Be careful here, putting it up on a surface to rub it. I don't want to have any chance that I'll damage this part. Extra time rinsing. Extra time rinsing. It does look nice in mirror finish on the underside now. Nice mirror finish. Mr. Slide's turn. I put it on this piece here so that it doesn't get bent. Now this one definitely gets cleaned. 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 And you can see it's quite smooth now, isn't it? Completely different animal than what it was. Here's a flat blank, most prone to damage from cleaning and rough handling. So I'm washing it the way I did the others. Take a toothbrush, it's finished up. Put this here, double rinse. I'll show you this. It looks a lot better than it did at the beginning. Those pieces are now ready for rebuild. Thanks for staying with me on this long